Well, hello and welcome back. You guys are doing great. We're making a lot of progress. In the last video, we created our database because we are in the process of installing WordPress manually. So let's continue on with our quest. So now what we're going to do is we're going to travel over to WordPress.org. And this is where we need to download the actual WordPress software because that is what runs your website along with the database. So you just type in WordPress, if I can spell correctly, WordPress.org comes up automatically for me. So it's just WordPress.org. That's where you want to go. And there's a blue button right here. Click on download WordPress and then you'll be taken to a new screen. And on this screen, you want to download WordPress. And this is the latest version, so you'll be good to go. So download WordPress. And then you want to save this to a folder where you're going to be working out of later. So let's make sure we choose a folder that is not obtrusive and that we can easily access. So let's create a new folder here. And we'll call it, I'm just going to name it my domain, WayneHatter.com. I'll say WayneHatter.com. Okay, so that's where we're going to put WordPress in, and then I'm going to save it. Now it shouldn't take that much time to download, so just be a little patient because it's 5.9 megabytes. So it's not really big, and depending on your speed of your internet service provider, then that's how fast or slow it will download. All right, so once it's downloaded and I'm using Chrome, I'm just going to click this little arrow and then I'm going to show in folder. Now once I have it shown in my folder, this is a zip file. I'm just going to right click and then I'm going to extract it here. And it really doesn't take that long to extract, maybe about half a minute or so, 45 seconds. So you just wait until that's done. Okay, so now that it's done extracting, all of the WordPress files are located in this WordPress folder. Okay, so we'll just be working out of that folder. So you double click there. There are all of your files that is going to create your website for you. All right, so for now, let's just close this. And then remember when you downloaded Notepad++, we're going to open that now. So just probably navigate to your desktop or wherever you saved it to. And then I pinned mine to my taskbar. So once you have Notepad++ open, we're going to go to File, and then we're going to go to Open, and then we're going to go to our folder where we have WordPress installed. All right, so now we're in our folder where we have our WordPress files. So what we want to do is this file right here called wp-config-sample.php. So just click there and open it. Okay, cool. Now, remember when we saved the database name and the database username and the password? And we did that right in this file right here. So let's see if we can do a side by side. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'll be able to know for sure. Okay, great. So now we have both of these side by side. So we're going to be taking this information from here and we're going to be transferring it to here. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to change the database name, and it tells you database name here. So DB name is what you're looking for. Okay, so this is our database name, so we'll copy that and we'll paste it here. Bada boom. And then the database username, which is right here, Wayne Ha. Copy, and then we'll paste that here. Paste. Good to go so far. And then our password. So we'll copy that, and then we'll paste that here. All right, perfect. Now we're going to expand this to make it larger because there's some other stuff that we have to do. Now, depending on the host that you chose to go with, then this database host may be different than mine. Mine is set to localhost, so I don't need to change anything here. And everything else you really don't need to change here, except this area right here. Okay, So we need to set these salt keys, and it tells you change these to different unique phrases. You can generate these using the link right here. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to copy this URL right here. So let's copy that, and then let's go back to our browser, and we're just going to paste and go. And as you can see, every time you visit this website, there will be new authorization keys, all these different keys. So if I was to refresh, you see this first two letters is TM. Now it's UH. So every time you go to the site, you can generate some new keys for your website. So we'll copy that, and then let's go back to Notepad, and then just highlight all of these right here, and then paste that in. Bam. Now, one more thing we need to do, we want to change our database prefix. And I'm just going to change it to my first initial and my last initial for Wayne Hatter. So we'll just say WH. Okay. And you want to change the prefix because this is just an extra layer of security. It keeps hackers out to a point because they're always looking and trying to infiltrate databases and files and your WordPress website. But when you change the prefix, it throws them off, and because they will be looking for the WP that we had in there. But now that we changed it, it's gonna, you know, just beef up our security. So just remember that, change your prefix. All right, and everything else you don't need to worry about here. So now what we want to do is we're going to save this file under a different name. So I'm going to go to File, Save As, and we're going to save it in the same directory right here. So instead of wp-config-sample, we're just going to take out the sample, just like that. Okay, and then we click Save, and now we are good to go. So at this point, what we need to do is go back to FileZilla, and then we're going to navigate to our folder where we have our WordPress files installed. So it's in this WordPress folder, and if I scroll down, you will see that here is our new configuration file that we created. So basically what you do is you just select them all. You can do Control A, or you can click the first folder and then hold down the Shift key and then select all of those, and then right click, or you can drag it over to your server, however is easier for you. I'm just going to drag it now since I'm already here. And once you start dragging it over, I'm going to pull this down so you can see the process. Now all of your files are being uploaded. So what I'm going to do is pause this video because it takes about maybe 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes or so before all the files are uploaded. And then once it's done, we'll come back and then we'll visit the website, and then we'll finish installing WordPress. All right, so our upload was successful. So now what we want to do is pop back over to our browser, and then let's go to our website, waynehatter.com, or whatever your domain name is. And then you'll be taken to this screen. So you would choose the language that you want to install WordPress under, and then click continue. And here you can put in the site title of your site. So for now, I'll just say Wayne Hatter, and I'll show you how to change all of that later. And my username, it'll be Wayne, and then I'll choose a password. And then you retype your password here. Your notification email, that would be your email that you check all the time, or whatever admin email you want it to be. So for future notifications that are coming up, like when people want to comment on a post that you've created, then this is the email that those notifications will be sent to. So I'll just say Wayne at yourwpmadesimple.com. And that's where all my emails will go. Now, this privacy, you want to uncheck this for now, okay? Because you don't want the search engines to start crawling your site and start showing your content in the search engines while you're working on it. So just uncheck that for now, and then when you're all set and ready to actually publish your website, when you have all your content up there and all of your products or whatever the case may be, then you want to make sure you go back and check that. But there's a place inside of your WordPress administrative panel in which you can do that, and we'll get to that too at some point. So now that you have all this information filled in, go and click install WordPress, and then you have the success message. There's your username and the password that you chose on the previous screen. So click log in, and then we type in our username and then our password, and then you want to click log in. So bam, you have just successfully installed WordPress. And what we want to do right now, we're just going to look at the front end of your website to see what it looks like at this point. And then when we come back, we're going to start doing some configurations, and then I'm going to take you on a tour of your actual administrative panel, or your dashboard, it may be called at times. So let's go and visit the site. And here is the default theme that was installed, and here's the default post that was installed. But once we get further into this course, we're going to be changing our theme, and we're going to be doing all kinds of good stuff. So there you go. You have just installed WordPress. Your website is now live. And once we get in, I'll show you how to configure everything. So let's just pop back over to the dashboard, because this is where we're going to pick up when we come back.